Okay, so no flashy introduction, thumbnail whatsoever, just straight up. Let's get to the point and let's focus on what this video is all about. The only things you really need to know to master your biology O-level examination. Now, the fact that you're already watching this video, it shows to me that you're serious about nailing your O-levels and doing well for them. So I'm just going to say this. I have high expectations of you guys, and I'm confident that you're going to reach there. And if you follow what I'm going to say in this video, in subsequent videos, you more or less are guaranteed to reach there. And if you don't reach there, you're probably doing something wrong, or you're probably not following it. Simple as that. Now, one of the most important pieces of paper that you might need for this examination is your biology syllabus list, because that is literally what the examination is based off. So I'd suggest that you guys have a copy of this either digitally or you print it out, up to you, but have this somewhere near that you can refer to from time to time. Now, there's a lot of information in this syllabus list, like the introduction, aims, assessment objectives, but honestly, you need to know which is the crucial parts and you need to know which parts are a little less relevant. Like the aims, look at this: become confident citizens in a technological world, able to take or develop an informed interest in math. It won't help you, I'll be honest. It might help you in other ways, but it won't help you in getting that distinction, getting that A1, whatever you desire. If your goal is to get a distinction, this is not really going to help you. So you don't need to focus on this part. The key things that you really need to know, is this scheme of assessment. You need to know the three types of paper, and as you can see, paper 2 weighs the most. So that's what I'm going to focus on this paper, because this is going to be a quick video about one of the most important things you might need to know for the examination. And yep, that consists of nailing your paper 2. And so what exactly do you need to know to nail your paper 2? Well, there are a few things. The format of the paper is one of them, but I wouldn't be too stressed about it. Like as you can see here, they say section A carries 50 marks, various number of compulsory structured questions. Section B is 30 marks, 3 free response questions. Now you might be wondering what's the difference between free response questions and structured questions. Honestly, you don't really need to worry too much about it. As you do the paper, you realize that, oh, it's a little longer, there are more marks, but the way you answer, the way you go about them is more or less the same. It doesn't really vary that much. And then just take note, the last question will be presented in either or form and will carry 10 marks, meaning you just do one of them. You don't go do both of them. Don't waste your time. At least don't do that. That's probably the only thing you need to know from this section here. Now, as you go down, you see the various themes and topics that you have. What I'd highly suggest is you know everything that is here, everything that they have listed in this themes and suggestions, basically. So whatever learning outcomes that they have listed down here, you should be able to tell what it is, or you should be able to know that information. So if, let's say, compare the structure of typical animal and plant cells, you need to be able to compare the structure of typical animal and plant cells. Or if they say differentiate cell, tissue, organ systems, you need to be able to differentiate between these things. But don't worry too much about this as of now. I'll be making videos on each and everything, topic by topic, for my subsequent videos. You can watch that and refer to those as well. So for today, one of the most important things that I want to focus on is all the way at the bottom. This part's for paper 3, the practical part. Don't worry about it for now. Is this thing, glossary of terms used in biology papers. You need to know these things here so that you don't go about answering questions the wrong way. Let's say it's a calculate question, but you just like define things there. I mean, that shouldn't happen, but I'm just listing out the worst case scenarios. So you need to know what define means, what describe means, what determine means, what discuss means. Of course, not memorize the definitions of all these, but just have a rough sense, a rough idea of what it might mean. And don't worry, I've compiled the more important ones so that you have a clearer idea of what it is. Okay, it's not these numbers here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 16, 17, 18. I've taken out some of them which I feel won't be that crucial for you guys. This is solely what you need to know, or what would be the highest ROI or return on investment if you spend your time learning more about. So calculate will come a few times in your exam paper. It is basically quite simple. You just have to do some mathematical equations to get your answers. Some like basic minusing, dividing, multiplying, and you'll get your answer. And just take note, things like find, determine, estimate. These are like I would group them as similar kind of questions because it works with numbers and you're trying to find an answer. So this is an example question. Plant shoot. Sorry, I won't say out the question. Pause the video. Go read it yourself. So once you all have read the question is basically asking for the mass of water lost per centimeter cube of leaf surface per day, and it tells you clearly show your working. What does it mean by show your working? It literally means state in words what your working means, and then write out the working itself. So here, mass loss in 48 hours. How you're going to do it? You take the before, then you take the after, you minus it off, and you'll get a value here. So 214.5 minus 211.8. Punch it in your calculator, you'll get a number. And remember to include your units. So whatever grams, you'll get some mass in grams. If you want to be more specific, you can go mass loss in 48 hours, bracket in grams. You can be extra and do that. No one's stopping you. Mass loss per day. What you do is, since this is in 48 hours, you just take the value here that you get here, you divide by 2, then you'll get the mass loss per day. Now, mass loss per cm cube of leaf surface per day, just take the number here, divide by 45 centimeters square, and you'll get the answer for this. And remember to include your units. Usually for biology, the answer line will include the units, so it's kind of quite helpful. You just have to still write it in your working. In the answer, don't repeat the units. If they already provided you the units, just write the numerical value of your answer. Don't go put the units in. Now, comment is a question that when I did my O levels, I saw multiple times this thing coming out. Comment. It's basically an open-ended instruction. Comes in section B. Is that what you guys say now? It's more of the longer form of questions. So you need to get points or recall points that are relevant to the question, and then you have to try your best to answer it. But be careful about the number of marks available. So if it's 3 marks, you don't have to write so much. If it's 5 marks, write more. If it's 10 marks, then just keep writing. Okay, compare. This is quite essential because I think people might miss out on this thing quite often, is that it requires you to provide both similarities and differences. If, let's say, the question is compare between diffusion and osmosis, you need to find some similarity, put it in, some difference, put it in. And if the marks are like 4 marks, then try to give 2 similarities, 2 differences, 1 similarity, 3 differences. Find what the mark range is, and then just go about it from there. There's a lot of feeling that you got to do. Now, define is very straightforward. Don't mess it up. In fact, your bio textbook has a list of definitions. Go see it. Go read it. Go have a book. Go have like an A3, A2 book. Sorry, A2 book. The small ones. Write out all your definitions from your bio textbook and keep rereading them, keep recalling them, and try to memorize them. It's very crucial. It's usually like 1-2 marks. Don't lose it. Now, describe comes a lot. As you read this thing, it's so wordy, you don't even know what's going on. There's like, particular phenomena, visuals, diagrams where appropriate, and you're just like, what the heck do I do? Don't worry, it's quite simple. You just have to more or less I wouldn't want to use the word explain, but you just have to say state in words about how a particular phenomenon happens. Now, don't be so wowed by the word phenomena. Is very simple what it means. So let's read some example questions. Right? Describe the journey taken by the blood from the heart to the lungs and back again to the heart. The phenomena in this case is the blood going from the heart to lungs and back to the heart. Now, excess amino acids cannot be stored. Describe how they're removed from the body. The phenomena is how these excess amino acids are removed from the body. So it's essentially just describing a process or a way of how things happen. That's all. If you understand your textbook, if you know everything in the syllabus list, you'll be able to more or less conquer describe questions pretty easily. Discuss is similar to comment. Let's not go so in depth. Explain comes out a lot. Okay, based on your what's that called? The specimen paper, 2024 specimen paper, there were 10 questions about explain. So you need to know what explain pretty much means. It just means reasoning or some reference to theory depending on the context. Now that's quite vague. You don't know what the context is. So an example of an explain question is explain why a person with blood group AB would not be expected to have an offspring with blood group O. I mean, you more or less understand the logic in your mind. Like, I don't know if you have covered that topic or not, but you more or less know what the logic is. The challenge here is about putting it out in words. But through practice, you'll get it. Don't worry about that as well. Now, list. This is very important for each and every one of you. It sounds so brain dead, sounds so idiot proof, but don't make this crucial mistake. If they tell you to list two things, don't go about listing three and expecting more marks. It doesn't work that way. They just think like, what the heck is this guy or girl doing? Outline implies brevity, restricting the answer to giving essentials. Now, obviously you're confused what does giving essentials mean because you don't know what the essentials are. To be honest, when I did my O levels, I didn't know what giving essentials meant. Literally all my answers, I overwrote them. Like if the lines were 3 lines, I would write like 4 and then just like something at the bottom. So it'll be quite hard. It'll be a challenge to stick your answer to essentials. But essentials mean like the key points. If let's say define homeostasis or outline how some homeostatic process occurs. You know those 5 steps that happens. You just have to more or less outline them with the key biological terms. Now, I'm not going into the content here, just want to go into the types of questions. Now, state, this is the easiest kind of questions. These are usually the first few marks of the paper. It's as simple as, oh, state the type of enzyme that breaks down proteins. So what's that? Should be able to tell. State when the body the excess glucose is stored. Just one word answer. Go put it there. You don't have to tell them excess glucose is stored as glycogen. It's converted to glycogen via a condensation reaction or hydrolytic reaction. You don't have to go that in depth. You just have to state where in the body. Don't go extra. Now, these two suggest what is meant by the term. I thought it was maybe essential, but I realized it's not so key. Suggest is might be more important than this last thing. So what suggest essentially is that you'll have to imply or you'll have to use your biology knowledge to new scenarios. Like the scenario might be different. You might have never seen it before. But you can, when you see the question, you'll realize that, hey, I can actually apply like this principle of homeostasis or this principle of diffusion to this context. And then that's how you that's how you go about answering the suggest questions. And yeah, if you master these, you'll do quite well for your O level biology, but that's just the first step. There's still many more things that you need to know, many more stuff that I will cover in subsequent videos. For today, that's it. If you want more help, you can go follow Elevate's Instagram page. We're gonna pump out like free content, but it's not really biology content, but more about studying, productivity, procrastination, all these issues that are highly relevant to you. Even I do that, procrastinate a lot. So all these issues that are relevant to students, we're going to pump it out there. And if you need more help, feel free to shoot a DM on the Instagram page. Okay, bye. Have a great day.